everybody, and welcome to the Dugout. Yes,
Hey.
we are back again. I know it's been a long, extended Christmas break. Let's just take it as that for the time being. It's been since we last podcasted, it has been a crazy couple of months in football. Well, actually, it seems like a couple of months, but actually, it's only been a month since we did our last episode.
Feels like a couple of months.
And there's been
Everything
so
going on.
much going on. To put into context, Tom, the last time we did a podcast was when Mo Salah came out and said that he didn't want to be at Liverpool.
And that feels like ages ago already now.
And everything has
Honestly.
happened from then. But only me and Tom today. All the other boys are all busy, but hopefully in the next few weeks we'll get more of us back on the podcast again. But Tom, how you doing in general, mate? Did you have a nice Christmas?
Yeah, it was really nice, mate. Thank you. Yeah, really nice. Just had the family over for Christmas and then went to my nan's Boxing Day and worked majority of it. So yeah, it's been quite good. Had a good New Year as well. And it was pretty good. What about you?
Did you get your Tottenham calendar?
I did indeed. It was already hanging up, mate.
Who's on January? Who have you got?
I've got Vicaria.
Oh, and where's Brennan Johnson?
He's in February. Wait, hold on. Is it February?
Only Tottenham.
Yeah.
Found out.
Yeah.
Is he February?
Only Tottenham could do this. Only Spurs.
Sell a player that's on their thing in February.
Sell a player obviously that's in February and he's not even here anymore. Oh, only Tottenham.
Oh well, he won the Europa League. Well, lots to talk about on this show today. I think we need to get really straight into all the discussions because, as I said, it's been a crazy few months. I mean, just to put into context for loads of things, even me, brand new manager since the last time we did a podcast. Liam Rosenior at the wheel. I mean, I watched the game last night, Tom. It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, I heard Chelsea weren't great. They apparently they just looked passive and struggling to create opportunities. And I just don't know where you go for. I know you won like 3 games out of 4. I mean, it's not a horrendous start to Chelsea, but it's just people just don't enjoy the football, do they?
No, you got to put into context a lot of those as well. And like you look at it and you go, the first game is Charlton. I mean, let's be real. Like we battered Charlton anyway. Then we play Arsenal, a big test. I mean, it's 3-2. I mean, technically we're still in the tie, but in my opinion, we're absolutely nowhere near it. And I think 3-2 flattered us, if I'm being honest. I think Arsenal missed a load of chances, didn't really take advantage. I mean, the game against Brentford, again, same story. Brentford had loads of chances, didn't take them. We had Sanchez to say thank you on that one. He sort of paid back from the Arsenal mistakes with his performance against Brentford. And then last night, I mean, we're going up against a Cyprus side that are nowhere near qualifying for this Champions League next phase. And we stumble over the line from a set piece. And yes, of course, he's a new manager. You've got to give him time. But the appointment is just wild, mate. It's just absolutely wild. The fact that we've got Liam Rosenior. I mean, and do you know what the harsh thing is here? It's very tricky not to go in on the guy because it's not his fault that he's the Chelsea manager. Because who says no to a job like that? Do you know what I mean? And
yeah, you're not going to turn it down.
Yeah, exactly. And when you're the manager of Strasbourg and a big club like Chelsea come calling, you don't say no, and you can't blame Liam Rosenior for taking the job. But it's just lack of ambition from the board. We need yes men. We don't want people to call out us and our mistakes and things like that. And that's what happened with Maresca. And I think the problem was, like, from a Chelsea fan's perspective, Enzo Maresca, I wasn't either way. I wasn't gutted that he left, but also at the same time, I was disappointed that he left because I think he was doing an okay job. Yes, was he frustrating to watch at times and watch him manage? Yes, it was. But I mean, from your perspective, Tom, from a neutral, what did you make of that news that Maresca lost his job? Like, just on that.
Well, I mean, it came across as a bit of a shock, to be honest. I think what Maresca's done for you, obviously, he got you into the Champions League. He's won you the Club World Cup, won you the Conference League, and after like 2 seasons, and I mean, obviously, like Chelsea fans like yourself were a bit like skeptical about Maresca. Not sure about that one. Just coming from the Championship, got Leicester promoted. What's he going to do with Chelsea? And to be fair, like I thought he proved everything wrong. At obviously what he's done there. He plays plays good football. Um, Sometimes I feel like his substitutions, his decision making, it's a little bit obviously was questionable at times, which I think lost a few patience with the Chelsea fans. And but you can't take away the job he did. And obviously now he's been sacked. It's crazy. Like at the beginning of the year as well. I certainly didn't expect it. If I'm being honest, I think it was he drew 2-2 with Bournemouth or something. I think you were in a bit of a poor run. So obviously because you beat Barcelona, you nearly beat Arsenal. Obviously going for the title, and you had 10 men. You think, wow, okay. Now this manager's getting a bit serious now. See what Chelsea can do. And obviously, yeah, you've been a poor run of form, but doesn't all managers, you know? And I just felt like they should have given Maresca a bit more time. I said to you, I was shocked. Even I was shocked about Maresca being sacked. I think he was arguably doing very, very well, improving a lot of players in the squad. And I know it's a Chelsea job's a massive job in regards anyway, because obviously Chelsea have got a massive, massive squad of players. But whether Maresca knew his best team, I think it got to a stages like before he got sacked. I think he kind of did. But it's just you're bored, man. You're bored, honestly. Like it's just awful. Like you're going from Maresca, who's just probably, arguably, got himself as probably one of the best managers in the last few
Arguably,
years.
Maresca is the best manager of the Bowley reign.
Yeah. Oh yeah, without a doubt. But you're going from him to, like, no disrespect to Liam Rosenior, but he's got no experience like in a big job. Like he managed Hull, he managed was it obviously he managed Strasbourg, but obviously because he gets the job because he got them into the Conference League. But I just feel like there weren't other managers out there available, and I didn't think you'd want to go for an interim because obviously you want to get an appointment straight away. But obviously, and there isn't any like top managers available, and I think that it was just a little bit of a panic appointment by the board
Do you
because
think? Do you think, Tom? From the, I mean, this is a very deep conversation. I think we're going to get into, and I mean, later in the podcast, we're going to talk about Tottenham, and that'll be you getting very deep and emotional. But
great, can't wait.
but do you think at the moment? And we chatted about this because when we met up yesterday, we chatted about this in the car, and we've chatted about it in the last few weeks. Do you think football is just a really dark place at the moment? Like you're looking around, and I mean, we spoke about it, and we said games are not entertaining anymore. Like we're getting ready on Super Sunday to watch blockbuster games and games that you go like, right, let's go, and we're watching drab 0-0s, and I feel like the way that football's been moulded, the boards are getting too involved. Like you think back to classic managers that used to be in the Premier League, like managing, like the characters of Mourinho's, and they don't survive in the game anymore now because of how influential the boards and the directors are in running a football club now. And I think the
Mm.
biggest example I think of this is look at the teams at the top: Aston Villa, Man City, and Arsenal. They're first, second, and third. And what is the difference between them and the other rest of the clubs that are in the Premier League? They're all
Mm.
run by a manager. Like
That's it.
Guardiola is the king of Manchester City. Arteta runs everything and makes all decisions about Arsenal. Everything that Aston Villa do is all run through Unai Emery. And I just feel like from that perspective, you just go, when your boards aren't interfering and they just let you get on with the job that you do, I think football is just such a nicer play. Look at Manchester United, complete mess with the whole situation with Amorim, and that was the board getting involved and then not knowing what they're really doing. And again, Chelsea sacking really Maresca for absolutely no reason at all. You're seeing what's happening with Palace, the board getting involved there. I just think, and I think, I've always said this, what happens at the top evidently trickles down to the bottom. And I think with the state of owners running football clubs and football clubs being run the way they are, I think it's having a detrimental impact on what is the Premier League. Because we said this the other day, I don't think I've watched an entertaining game of Premier League football for at least a year now. And I
I
don't know
agree.
what you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, we talked about it yesterday. Like you said, like the most entertaining game in the Premier League was probably that. You remember that Chelsea 4, Man City 4. I mean,
Mm.
that was a proper game. That was a proper game of football. But I just look. Obviously, you look at these Super Sunday fixtures that they're putting on these days. You know, remember that Super Sunday we have Brentford Leeds at 4:30. Still can't get my hat. And everyone goes like, oh, but all these teams need to be like in the, they all need to be like for the money rights. Like, no, come on, no one's going to be interested in it. Like at the moment, football's just like sort of boring to
But
watch. I
not
mean, that's
even
Super
those
Sunday.
games, Tom. Like you're using Brentford and Leeds or whatever. But I'm not going to lie. We watched that Arsenal Liverpool game the other night. That's two
Oh,
big sides,
that was a shocking game of football. Like
and it was a dreadful game of football.
Arsenal going, Arsenal going for the league, and they play like that. They just like sat back. Well, didn't really sat back. Liverpool just controlled the ball. And that's a team that's going for the league. Liverpool obviously going for top four, but you think Arsenal would be more up for it. But for me, obviously Arsenal, and I know the inevitable might happen and they'll win the league. So even though they don't play the best football, I don't get blown away watching them. They're a good team. Don't get me wrong. They've got a really, really good squad of players. But like I said, like the really reason why I think they might not win the league is the manager, because
Why do you
I feel.
think? Why do you think, Tom? Just on the question of the state of football right now. Why do you
Hmm.
think football is so boring at the moment? Like, is there like when you think back to like back when we used to watch football? I'm just going to use this game for an example, but you had games with teams that weren't the big six, for example. Do you remember that
Mm.
Portsmouth 7 Reading 4 game? An
Yes.
amazing game of football, goals galore,
So end to end,
and
yeah.
and it was. And when we grew up watching football, I felt like every game you watched was end to end. I felt every game you watched on Match of the Day was an entertaining game of football. I I get. I just don't watch any single team in the Premier League and think, wow. Why do you think that is at the moment? Why are the Premier League clubs not entertaining at the moment?
It's hard to say really because
Is
like
it styles?
I feel like we haven't got I mean, we've got some good managers in the Premier League. There's no doubt about it. But there are managers that can do better. Um, like obviously, I know obviously with Arteta, obviously he's got Arsenal in the title race last few seasons, and even though they and know their football, they don't play the best football in the world. But there are many managers in the Premier League that feel like that should, Man United with Michael Carrick, Chelsea with Liam Rosenior, um, Pep Guardiola.
Thomas Frank.
I mean, with Thomas Frank with Spurs, and I mean, don't get me wrong, Pep Guardiola, he's a genius. He's the best manager in the world. There's no doubt about it. But I have a Man City mate who thinks it's time to go because the football's slow. And
Mhm.
is it like these players like that just not following the methods? Is it just like older player, like younger players, or something like that? But that sometimes managers need to take accountability. Obviously, they pick the teams every week, and is it pressure or something like that? But it's hard to say really. But I do agree with what you're saying about football lately. Like there's I can't remember like a game where I was like, oh, I'm going to go on a group chat and just talk about it. I haven't done that like in ages because
Mm.
it's nothing worth talking about. But the lower quality in football as of lately has been a bit of a sham, really. It was like that last season as well, where Liverpool
Do
just
you know
ran
what?
away.
I think you make a really good point with the managers. And do you know what I think? I think you've hit the nail on the head with the actual quality of managers that are actually in the Premier League right now. And I think when you think back in the day, you had, I'm just going to use for example, Mourinho's, Martin Yoles, Alex Ferguson's, Alan Kirbishley's, Harry Redknapp's. all these managers had character. They had character and they played their style of football. I think at the moment, what
Yes.
we've got is a Premier League with clubs just trying to all play the same way. And I think it
Mm.
started from when Pep Guardiola came into the league. Everyone started trying to play like them. And I think at the moment, Arteta has actually changed the Premier League and made it boring. And the reason I say that is because he went very rigid and went, right, we're going to win the game by being defensively sound and set pieces. And so the answer to that, to try and stop Arsenal from being good in that, is, well, let's all copy Arsenal. And now you're seeing games where the game is half taken up by people just getting ready to take a throw in. And that's not what football is. Football's about high pace, intensity.
Honestly,
And
honestly,
I don't, and I agree with you.
these long
I just don't think
throws,
we've got managers with characters.
these long throws are doing my head in as well. Like, why has that suddenly become a thing? Like ever since like Brentford started that long throw with what's his name, Coyote, is it?
Mhm.
Obviously we do it with Danzo, even though he doesn't play week in week out. We see it a lot this season. Like it's boring. We never used to see that. It's just like, oh, here we go, another long throw, all that, all the time, and also the time wasting. I think it's become very bad lately.
Yeah,
Very,
I
very
agree.
bad. I don't know if you watched the Bournemouth game the other night against Brighton. The amount of players that were going down so easily. I think Thomas was at the game and he was like rattled about like all like Bournemouth players like going down so easy. It's becoming too
Yeah.
much. It's come too much. It's just ruining like the obviously the fun of watching the Premier League along with VAR as well. So
Yeah, I agree.
I think
I think
we need
football
to
has
have,
become very stop-starty, and personalities are just gone from the game. And I think,
and there's too
I,
much and there's
there's too
too
much
much
what.
and there's too much board talks as well with all boards. Too much
Mm.
politics going into football.
Where are
I
the
feel.
Harry Redknapps of the game, mate? Where are the Harry Redknapps gone? You know, managers with
I
personality
mean,
and
I
character.
mean, if
Ian
we sack Frank,
Holloway's.
which I hope we will soon, then I'll take Harry Redknapp as interim. Why not? Give it a go. Why
Well,
not?
I think you've led on to that perfectly. It was quite a depressing start to the podcast, the football podcast, and we've just slayed football. But I think that's the reality at the moment. It's
It
just
is.
been.
It is. Mate, it is the reality, and people need to know about it because we want to watch proper football again, and lately we haven't.
I think the best thing that can happen to this league, in my personal opinion, is if Pep and Arteta go. If they both go, I think football will become a better place in the Premier League.
You know what? I completely agree with that. I think with Arteta, because obviously he was with Pep a long time, he will get his
Mm.
coaching methods from him, like trying to cop. Like I'm not saying copy, but obviously Arteta was with Pep quite a while now,
Mm.
at Man City, and it's just the same. Like it's just the same title race. Arsenal and City. Oh, it's Arsenal and City. Who's going to win the league? It's boring.
Well, I
Like
said this
remember,
about.
remember Chelsea and remember Chelsea and Tottenham. That was a good title race. I thought.
Yeah, I
Like
agree. It was two teams going for it. Like,
two teams
and I
going
agree
for
with you.
it.
I think you look at Pep, and I used to say this for years, and everyone used to be, oh, but how good do Man City play? I don't think I found Man City, even when they're at their best, terrible to watch. I found them incredibly boring. Yes, it's very impressive the way they used to pass the football and recycle the ball and move the ball about. It's very impressive from a technical point of view. But from a
Mm.
viewer point of view and from a football perspective, when we pay our money to go and watch entertaining football, oh my word, Pep ruined the league. And Arteta's doing the same, but Arteta's done it worse because he's just put set pieces in. So half the time, we're not watching a game of football. We're watching Declan Rice taking a corner, or Saka taking a corner, or
Not and
Calafiori
oh
taking a long throw. It's
and
boring.
showing the set piece coach all the time. It does my head in.
Exactly that.
Oh my god! Every single time Arsenal get a set piece, they always land it to the set piece coach. I'm like, does my head in.
Yeah, I
don't,
agree. And
don't.
I think if Pep and Arteta go from this league, and I think the Premier League will, I think the Premier League could get back to what it was before. But
I'll
that's
ask you.
not me slating them as managers. I just think their style of football is just, I think it's mundane and boring, and
I'm
I
gonna.
think it's
I'm gonna
done.
say. I'm going to say something. I think this is Pep's last season.
Yeah, I think he's going to go. I think he will.
I think this is Pep's last season. You know, if they don't win anything, they don't win the league. I think Pep's out. I don't think he won't get
Yeah,
sacked. I think he'll just go. Like he's done all
yeah,
he
I think he
can.
will.
He's done everything he can. And if Arteta doesn't win anything this season, if he bottles the league, then I generally think they could start to sack him because
I
they've been
don't
in the
think I.
title race. They've been in the They've been in the title races long enough now, and they still haven't shown anything from it. I mean, it might be their year this year. I hope not, anyway. But I just don't see like Villa or Man City catching up with them.
No, neither do I. And do you know what? 7 points is catchable, but not when you've got inconsistent teams behind you. And
Exactly,
there's your problem.
exactly.
And
That's the problem.
but we just got to pray that it doesn't happen. But I'm quite fearful that it is going to happen, mate. And to be honest, it's easier to accept it because do you know what the thing with Arsenal as well? They don't lose games. They might draw a game. They don't lose games.
Yeah,
And
they don't.
you need
This
to
is the
lose
problem.
games to you need to lose games to lose a title, and I don't think they do.
No, they don't play the best football, but obviously because they've got a great defence and a good midfield, they just don't really look like losing games anytime soon. To be honest.
No, I agree. Anyway, speaking of losing games, time to talk about Tottenham.
Oh, good one.
um, I mean, the last time we were on we were on the podcast. I remember speaking to you about obviously Thomas Frank, and I mean, at that point you were going, David, I'm not convinced. I'm really not convinced with this manager. I don't think he's good enough for the job. I mean, it's gone from that to 110 miles an hour. If people could look in our group chat, Tom is like a red rag to a bull right now. He is fuming. I mean, you beat Dortmund, mate. Frank in.
Mate, that doesn't change anything. That does not change anything. I'm
That's a
sorry. I
good
mean,
Dortmund team, you know.
that's a good Dortmund team. They were poor. They were shocking. Even before the red cards, they were shocking. They didn't turn up. I'm like, I'd be embarrassed if I was a Dortmund fan losing that game, to be honest. But it doesn't
Um,
change my mind. It doesn't change my mind. I'm sorry.
so obviously Tom is quite clearly Frank out. Um, uh, Tom, I think we need to talk about this. We've spoke about this in when we've met up in the pub or whatever. But what is your situation on Thomas Frank? I mean, does he have to go?
Yes, absolutely has to go, mate. Like, generally, with mate, we promised. They promised us after the Europa League, we will build from this. We will build on, get a good squad in for next season. It's been anything but. Like, so I'm sorry. I really wanted Frank to do well. I really did. You know, it wasn't my first choice. You know that. I was like, not sure about this one because obviously Brentford and all that mid-table, all the time. I know he's done a great job at Brentford, but you know, I'm not saying he's a terrible manager. I'm not. I've always said it. I don't think he's a terrible manager, but he's not the one for us.
Hmm.
He's too big of a job for him. You know, Tottenham is a big job. You know, you had managers like Mourinho, Conte manage us. Going from that to Thomas Frank, I just don't like his football. I think his football is hoofball, slow, not creating opportunities, poor defensively as well. And obviously, I know it's a bit better from last season, obviously when we had Ange, but there's still no improvement. I don't enjoy watching us like with him in charge. I just feel like I don't like his press conferences. I don't like some of the stuff he says. He's just a yes man, and I feel. Listen, I know our team may be not good enough at the moment, but it should be good enough to get at least some wins against the teams we should be beating, like West Ham. Like that West Ham game, we lost at home to them last week. It was an embarrassing defeat. West Ham are shocking. They're shocking. That's the worst West Ham team I've ever seen. They're going to get. I still think they'll go down, but
Hmm.
to lose at home to
And you're
them,
at home.
and we were at home. But even our home form is rubbish. It's just shocking. It's just awful. Um, I generally thought that was it for Frank, and I was shocked that he got the Dortmund game. Really, really shocked. I mean, it's just so Spurs to lose to West Ham and then beat Dortmund like a week after. Now he's suddenly brilliant again. But
Do you not think there's a lot of repair with Tottenham though, Tom? Like,
it shouldn't be,
do you
David,
have to
because
put do you have to put mitigating circumstances? Because I know as Tottenham fans, you hail Lord Ange as this saviour that came and made everything better. But reality is that Europa League, and I've said this to you before, for what it gave you as Spurs fans and the night out and the trophy, yeah, it's amazing. But as a club, it was the worst thing to happen to you because it clouded your judgment and it made you think that you were better than you actually were. Where in reality, you were the 17th best team in the Premier League last year because Ange had ruined your club. And I feel for Thomas Frank because he's come in and it's a complete mess. He's had injuries in his front line. No Kulusevski, no Maddison, no Solanke until now. He's had Tell, Richarlison and Odegaard. I mean, name me a manager in the world of football that will get a tune out of these guys and play good football. You haven't got the players, Tom. And also, you haven't got the quality of players, but also the confidence in the players. Because one thing that Ange did do was wreck the confidence of these players because you lost 22 games last season. And so I think, I mean, I'm just doing this for devil's advocate as well. I, I personally, as well, I agree with you in a sense with Frank. I don't necessarily think Tottenham is the right job for him. But there are mitigating circumstances to what he is dealing with at the moment from the mess that happened last year.
but you know the thing is though, like we had a pretty decent window. Obviously we signed Xavi Simons, we had Kudus, and you know, you think obviously players like that would improve us, but I just feel like, you know, obviously Kudus is out injured. We haven't seen the best from Xavi Simons. You need a good manager to get the best out of them, and he's not. He's not it. I'm sorry. Like I said again, I'll keep saying again. He's not good enough for us.
Is the
Um,
squad good
and
enough though, Tom?
no, the board. No, no, no. Of course not. No, the board are awful. The board are terrible. Literally, they're awful. Since Levy's left, it's gone worse, and that's saying
And the
something.
squad, is the squad good enough? Your players, are
I did
your
say. I
players
did.
good enough?
I did say like some players aren't good enough, but they should be good enough to beat teams week in week out. Well, not maybe the likes of teams like lower down the table. We shouldn't be losing to West Ham at home. We shouldn't be drawing to Wolves. We shouldn't be. I mean, Brentford away. Yeah, it's not a bad point, but we still played awful. They battered us in that game. We shouldn't have lost to Bournemouth because they were a run of 11 games without a win. Dr. Tottenham come into town, and then Semenyo, last kick of the ball, scores against us. This shouldn't be happening, Dave. Like at the end of the day, I'm just bored of watching us. I mean, it's not just Frank; it's the board as well, because they need to take responsibility as well for pointing these managers they're not going to do well, not backing them, overspending players like Conor Gallagher, like £40 million. I mean, he's a good player. I mean, I'm happy with Conor Gallagher, but that's £40 million. Very panic signing. Um,
He's
just
better than Pape
you,
Sarr and Archie Gray and all that rubbish you've got.
I like Archie Gray. I think he's good. I think he's got potential, but it's just a mess, mate. Like, I've never seen us like in a proper mess before because the board promised us after the Europa League we would build from this, show more ambition. Um, and it's been anything but like terrible season in the Premier League. Yes, we're still in a good position in the Champions League, but for how long? Who have we beaten? That maybe Dortmund, but still, like wait till we face like Barcelona, we'll get battered. Like generally, it's going to potentially end in disaster for us. You know, we got Burnley away on Saturday, and then you look at the run, look at the fixtures we got after that. We got Man City, Man United, Newcastle, and Arsenal. So
Oh
we're
wow.
so we're fucked. and then
Well, I
obviously
think you. Yeah,
and
go
then
on.
and then obviously we got Frankfurt away in the Champions League. Obviously they've been knocked out completely now. They can't reach the playoffs, so no excuses for us not to go out there and get a win. They just sacked their
Yeah, you've been
manager.
very favourable with the Champions
So
League
if we
fixtures, I
win
must
if we
admit.
win that so if we win that game, we'll get in the last 16, which is good. but who we gonna like? Who we face? It's gonna be tough. Like you
Well,
know,
I think what you've led on perfectly there, Tom. What I've tasked Tom with on the podcast this week is we spoke a bit about obviously Frank and Spurs and everything, but I've tasked him to do the 5 things that can fix Tottenham Football Club. So if Tom went in to Tottenham and said, "These are the 5 things you need to fix," what are they? So Tom, what is your number 5 for things that need to be fixed at Tottenham?
that need to be fixed with Tottenham is the prices of football matches too expensive for me. Like you're going like a Premier League game which costs nearly over £150. I look at the ticket prices these days and it's just a joke. Like sometimes you want to go there and like pay money for good like to watch good football, and it's not fair on and it's not fair on the fans either, seeing us lose at home week in week out all the time. It's not fair.
Mhm.
It's not fair. So if you're gonna, if you want to like get the fans on side, get the tickets. Obviously, it's not going to happen, but just get the tickets a bit cheaper, But it's just I know any game that you go to is going to be expensive anyway, so that's
Yeah,
nothing's going
yeah.
to change. But there you go.
So number 4.
Number 4, I've to fix Tottenham is to appoint a good manager. To
Wow,
appoint
that low. I thought you'd go higher for that one.
No, I've gone a bit higher on a few things, but I generally feel like appointing a good manager is what could save us. Thomas Frank. I really wanted to get behind him. I really did. It started off quite well. We beat City. Looked quite good. I thought, okay, he's looking good, but he's just not the man for us, mate. Like his football
Do you
is
know
not
what
good
I
enough.
describe it as? And I said this to you yesterday, the analogy. It's a crazy analogy, but I think it's actually a really good one. Like Ian Beale, Adam Woodyard, who plays Ian Beale in EastEnders, he's a great
Thanks.
actor for EastEnders, a brilliant actor for EastEnders. But if you put him in a Marvel film, he would
He's going
look
to be
out of
crap.
place. And
Exactly.
that's what I think Thomas Frank is. I think Thomas Frank is a good manager, and I think if Thomas Frank went to West Ham, he'd keep them up. But I
Yeah.
don't think he's good enough for the Spurs job. I do agree with you on that.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, David, because it's too big of a job for him. He's good enough for Brentford, Fulham, maybe Leeds, maybe, but Tottenham is a massive club. We're supposed to be a top 6 club, but
Mhm.
at the end of the day, we're not showing it. Like being lower in the table, lower
So
down
who'd
the
be your
table.
number one choice?
My number one choice, Pochettino, 100%.
Wow.
Getting back. Honestly, we love Pochettino. Shouldn't have been sacked. Um, he likes the club. He loves the club. So I don't see why not. If you were say
So
don't
would
do
you
the
keep
World Cup,
Frank to the end of the season and then appoint Poch?
yes, that's what I would do is for an interim, just maybe put Heitinger in there to the end of the season, and then appoint Poch in the summer.
Wow.
Because
Fighting
if
there.
it does go wrong, if we do lose to Burnley, mate, I generally think that's it. You
Wow.
can't lose to you can't lose to Burnley, mate. I'm sorry, Ollie, if you're watching this, but you can't lose to them. Honestly, they'd be, I can't remember the last time we actually won a game.
You won't lose to Burnley, mate. They are rubbish.
Oh, it's Tottenham, Dave. Have you forgotten who Burnley are playing this weekend? Shouldn't have lost to
Okay,
West Ham.
so new manager number 3. What would be the next thing?
Um, okay, number 3. I've gone for more money to the managers, obviously for backing. Just give more
Mhm.
money towards obviously the managers, etc. Because it's not happened since. There's literally no backing from. I mean, I know Frank's been backed a little bit this month, but it's obviously since we had Levy, it's been anything but with these managers that we had, like Conte,
Do you think
Mourinho.
it's more money, or do you think it's more control of the players that are coming in?
Well,
Because you are spending money.
we are spending money, yeah, but we need more than Conor Gallagher. Like, look at the squad at the moment. Like, we're going from you've gone from Heung-min Son, Harry Kane to Richarlison and Odegaard. I mean,
Mm.
that's not what we're about. You know, we've reached Champions League finals. We've won a European Cup. You
We're
know,
not even
and
Kane's, Defoe's, Crouches, people like that. Look at the strikers you've had.
look at the strikers we've
Robbie
had:
Keane.
Robbie Keane, Berbatov, Defoe, to Richarlison. You know, it's just oh, honestly, that guy gets injured so much. Like we need to get rid of him seriously.
Okay, number two.
Number two. Well, I've been thinking about it a lot on this one, but I've got it was a tricky one really. Obviously, like two and one, but I've just because I've thought about it a lot. I've gone for is it going to be the board? Because I know what my number one is. It's because I've been thinking about obviously number two. Um, uh, just just for the fans, just to like because it's so quiet in the stadium these days. Like,
Hmm.
I just want the fans to like get behind the players a bit more.
Yeah,
Maybe fan excitement, and I've probably gone for fan excitement at number two. Like, because
yeah.
in the top, this is probably why we don't do well at home. It's always so quiet. It's literally so quiet in the grounds, and obviously I don't blame him because
But that's
obviously
down to the football.
that's down to the football exactly. But they, it's just hard to not to obviously to get behind the team. It's just hard, because like it's just boring football week in week out. The fans don't get towards the play. I mean, with obviously even if the football is boring, then obviously I want the fans just to like get behind them, really roar at them, and then who knows, they might get going. But it's just nothing but that. I would have got. I've gone for like sort of the fans really. Not
Yeah,
not
I
not
think that's a
change
good
not
shout, to be fair.
not change the fans. No, 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 not at all. But just to be a bit more louder, just
But that
because we
links
have.
in with what you said, like
But
the style of play
unfortunately,
with the
that
manager.
links with the style of play that we have at the moment. If it was Poch, that would obviously because he didn't have long at the Tottenham Stadium before he got sacked. Um, the atmospheres were always brilliant. Like the European nights, amazing, but in the Premier League games, it's just so dead. Like there's no excitement. No, even like I watched the Dortmund game. The celebrations were just clapping. Like, well done, Solanke. It's like bloody hell. It's like
Yeah, get
it's
up for
crazy.
it. And number one, what is the
The board,
biggest thing that needs to be fixed at Tottenham?
the board, the board. Sorry, the Lewis family out. It's just honestly that they're the part of the reasons why this club is a mess. That it really is. Like they lie to us all the time. They promise us change all the time. It's been anything but. They point these like incompetent managers all the time, like Nuno and like now Frank. It's like, and it's just toxic. Like, why are we doing so shit? Like, we're supposed to be like up there because we won the Europa League. I know it's second tier European, but it's still you got gets you into the Champions League.
Yeah, yeah.
Still
Well,
should
as much as I said
should
it wasn't good for you,
should
it's
it should
still
attract
massive.
it should attract more players to come in. But it's the board, mate, and obviously we had a bit of a protest on Saturday that it's time for a change, but it wasn't much of a protest like what I saw.
Mhm.
But but I just want at least someone sell the club, maybe get like some new like owners like come in and do amazing for us. I just like we haven't been amazing for years now. Like under Pochettino, obviously, but those were the good days. Obviously, I know we haven't won anything under him, but just the football was amazing, and I know we've been sort of in title races and finishing in the top four. But it's it's just a shit show, mate. Like with this board, and since Levy left, to be honest with you, I'm going to say something here. If Frank was actually, if Levy was still here, I think he would have sacked Frank weeks ago. That's the thing with
You
Levy.
think?
He's not afraid to sack like a manager. Obviously, I know he did it. He dragged it on with Ange, and obviously he should have left ages ago. But obviously he kept him because of the Europa League. And I'm partly thinking they're going to keep Frank because we're in a good run in the Champions League. I think that's what it is. You know what's going to happen? We'll probably get relegated and win the Champions League. Could you, could you
Only
imagine
Tottenham.
can you imagine a Championship club just won the Champions League? Oh,
It wouldn't surprise me, mate. It wouldn't
it just would
surprise
be the
me.
most. It would just be the most Tottenham thing ever.
It would be
Most
incredible. But no, fair play, Tom. I think you did a good job with that. I think all those things,
And
need massive.
before we go, before obviously we move on, Frank out.
Wow. Well, we shall see.
Gotta go.
Maybe after next week when you're back on again, it might be Frank out if you lose to Burnley. But
Hey,
well,
mate, but overall, if we lose on Saturday, that's it. That's simply it. It's got simply out.
I think he's one bad defeat away from his job going. I do think that.
Burnley
I think
away Burnley would be embarrassing because they haven't won since God knows when. So,
then once in September.
but just you watch Marcus Edwards score a last minute goal.
Against his old club.
Mm.
No, fair play, Tom. I think that was. I think you did a good job of that. I really, really do. Should we chat a bit about FPL?
Mate, we've had
So,
an
Ed,
absolute. Oh, here we go. Oh.
obviously, since the last time we did the podcast, I mean, many, many game weeks have happened since. We'll do what we usually do, and we'll go through the Dugout top 5, and then we'll do the DS podcast one. So currently, top of the Dugout, and when I say top, absolutely smoking clear, is me on 1324 points, 1,324 points. Second place is Thomas, 1,205 points. Miles behind me.
Mate,
Absolutely miles.
you're miles ahead now, mate.
And then Jacob is third on 1,192. Josh is fourth on 1,155. And last by a point is you, Tom, with 1,154.
Hey, I'm last again. Nothing new there.
And then
Nothing new.
And obviously in the DS podcast, I am top of the DS podcast league with 1,324. Second is Josh Skelding with 1,249. Third is Luca Rattis with 1,241. Fourth is Sam Hepburn with 1,225. And fifth is R. Thomas with 1,205. And in sixth at the moment, just give him a shout out because he's been miles off it, but he's making a comeback. The guy who won it last year, our DS podcast lead, Scott, is in sixth at the moment. He's pulled it back a little bit, so who knows? There might be a challenge on. But to be honest, Tom, I'm absolutely smoking you all.
Mate, honestly, like, just give you the money now. Like, I mean, there's plenty of catching up to do. I mean, there's still loads of games left, but I don't see it happening now.
Well, I'll be honest with you. So for this week, I have made my transfer. I've taken Nico O'Reilly out, and I've brought in. Who have I brought in? Who have I brought in? I literally memorised it, and I've forgotten who it was. Oh, I can't remember who I brought in now. I can't remember who I brought in. But this week, oh no, I have. I've taken out Nico O'Reilly, and you'll be happy. I brought in Mickey van der Ven.
Mickey Van, okay, that's an interesting one. I mean, we don't keep clean sheets, but especially in the
And
league.
also,
So,
I've used the first of my regenerated chips, and I'm bench boosting this week.
who have you got on your bench?
I can't remember now. But I've got all the fixtures for my players are lining up quite nicely. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to bench boost.
Yes.
What have you made any changes?
Yeah, I took out Shesko. I mean, I don't know why I picked him. I mean, I I only picked him because he was scoring goals lately, but I know obviously against Man City, obviously I know they won, but obviously didn't get any minutes. So obviously I had Tavernier on the bench, so obviously he got me 8 points, which is a bit of a bonus, which is all right. So I've taken him out. I put Harvey Barnes in.
Oh,
Harvey
okay. Yeah, he scored the
Barnes.
other night.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously he doesn't start in week out. So but every time he plays for Newcastle, man, he's a great player. Like I'd have him shout for England.
Yeah, I like Harvey Barnes. I like Harvey
And he's got
Barnes.
and they've got Villa at the Newcastle Villa at the weekend. Obviously Villa are obviously coming back from. I think obviously Newcastle obviously bit hit and miss with them in the league, but I think Barnes might get a few might get 1 or 2 goals hopefully or an assist.
Yeah. Well, they're at home, aren't they? So there might be any
Yeah,
chance. It depends if he
mm,
starts over Gordon or whatever. But
that's it. Yeah,
let's go through the fixtures quickly and chat about them. And then we can go through the teams individually. I mean, it's a team in form at the moment in the Premier League. It's West Ham versus Sunderland. They're in form at the moment, West Ham. They won their last game.
yeah. Who's that? Who's that against?
I don't know, some average side I never heard of.
Some really poorly managed team.
West Ham, Sunderland. I mean, Sunderland consistently. I mean, you've got to give a load of credit to that Regis Labrie. He has done an absolutely brilliant job.
Oh
And
mate, I
everyone
think
said
he's
they'd
one.
fall apart in AFCON because all their
I think
players
he's
went, and they've been brilliant.
forget Emery, Pep, and Arteta. I think he's the manager of the season so far.
Oh, do you know what? I think he's up there, but my manager of the season is actually I would go with
Let me guess.
Keith Andrews.
Keith Andrews. Yeah. Oh god. Yeah. Oh god. Yeah. They should have got something against you at the weekend. Amount of chances they
Yeah, I
had.
agree. I completely agree. I think he's
But
done a
yeah.
brilliant. I think he's done a
But
brilliant job.
I don't know. I think Sunderland's away form is a bit dodgy. But it is West Ham. West Ham are pretty dreadful at home. So I think that's going to be probably a draw in that one.
I think Sunderland are going to win that. You know.
Yeah. You think
Are West
Sunderland's
Ham
okay?
gone? Are they gone? Are they gone? Do you think they're going to go?
Oh, it's hard to say, man. I mean, they don't. I mean, obviously they got a big win against someone last week, so. I mean, they're 5 points from set. I mean, they still don't look too great at the moment. Obviously, they lost at home to Forest, but it's just hard to say. They're too big a club to go down.
Yeah. Well, I actually hope they go down because the fact that they turned around and hounded David Moyes out, who's been their most successful manager in years, and they were, we don't want Moyes here. They're getting exactly what they deserve. Do you know when Gary Neville used to say, "Be careful what you wish for"? Exactly that. Because
I mean, our board are bad, but look at their board. Their board are shocking.
yeah, terrible. I feel really
So
bad for them, but
pointing
I don't
managers
feel
like
bad for them.
yeah, pointing managers like
Get out.
Lopetegui, Potter. Oh,
If you can't just rest on the name of your football club, you've got to perform, and they haven't. I mean, we spoke about Spurs and the Burnley v Spurs. We won't talk too much about this one as we had a bit of chat, but I mean, if you don't beat Burnley, man, if you don't beat Burnley,
honestly, even if we draw against Burnley, then that's the last straw.
they are
But
rubbish,
sure,
mate.
I mean, come on, surely we got to win that game. I mean, you'd think the Dortmund performance in game and the result would give us a bit of confidence.
You could call
Obviously, we've
this
got some.
game El Sakiko.
There was the El Sakiko last week, and Frank's still here. so, so we got another El Sakiko at the weekend.
Yeah, I think Parker is.
But
Scott Parker's done exactly.
surely we get a win.
Surely, Gary. Scott Parker's done exactly what he does in the Premier League. He can't handle the Premier League, can he, Parker? He's not a Premier League manager.
No, he's not a Premier League. He's not a Premier League coach.
Ollie,
So
Ollie, our Burnley mate. Ollie's Parker out. He's been Parker out for ages. He says not good enough. And again, he hasn't. Every time he's been in the Premier League, he's flopped, and he's done it again. So yeah, I think I would be shocked if you didn't win it. I would be, even despite the form you're in.
I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be.
Um, Fulham versus Brighton. Do you know what? You've got to give preps to Fulham. Fulham are having a brilliant. They've turned it around this season.
They
They
started
started
very well.
terrible.
They started really poorly this season, and they just they completely turned it around. So
Yeah, Harry Wilson has been sensational. I think he's been
oh,
one
he's
of the
brilliant.
form players of the Premier League.
Yeah, well, he's been
Brighton.
immense.
I don't know about Brighton. Do you know? I don't know about Brighton. I know Jacob and Thomas aren't here to talk about them, but they are just the weirdest team to watch in the league. I don't know whether they're good or not. I really don't. What do you think?
They're a confusing club. Like one performance they play well, and then the next they're crap. So for that, Fulham 2, Brighton 0.
Yeah,
I think it'll be all. I can't see anything but a
I
Fulham win. I'm afraid.
yeah, I think Fulham are going to win that game, and I think you've got to give Fulham lots of credit. They have been brilliant.
They've
Man
been brilliant,
City
mate.
versus Wolves. I mean, on paper this should be a bloodbath, but what Man City? I mean, Bodo Glimt. Bodo Glimt
Beating Bodo
lost
Glimt
to.
away isn't for beating Bodo Glimt away isn't for everyone, is it? But
What
apparently we had an easy run. Apparently we had an easy run. Well, they beat Man City,
you
didn't they?
did have it. Oh, we're not getting into this.
They beat
I'm
Man
not
City,
having
mate. They
hands.
beat Man City. They beat Man City. So surely we can't have that
This is a.
much of an easy run.
Do you know what? If Man City don't okay, win the league is a bit of a. But if Man City don't challenge for the league after buying two of the best players in the league this season in Guehi and Semenyo, then Pep is done. Like he is done.
Yeah.
Like realistically, um, I mean, I've captained Haaland against Wolves, and I just think
Also,
if
for everyone, for the FPL users, are we going to triple captain Ireland this weekend?
if you did it against Leeds and it went wrong, didn't it?
I don't know what. This is the thing. I don't know what to do. Like Haaland's been a bit shit lately. Like this is the sort of game he'd blank. Surely he will turn up in this game today. You know what? I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm
Yeah,
gonna do it.
I've captained him. I've captained him.
But
I think he's
I think I'm
easily
gonna
going to.
triple. I think I'm gonna triple captain Ireland. I think I'm gonna do it.
I mean, Wolves going to get themselves out? Are they all, or is it just
Oh mate.
they've
Oh mate.
improved a lot lately?
It's too late. It's far too late. Far too late. You need a miracle to survive now.
They have improved though.
They haven't. Oh yeah, they massively improved. Like they haven't. Have they lost this year? I don't think they have actually. Don't think they've lost this year so far. I don't think they've
No,
lost in.
I don't think they have. I think they're unbeaten in the last five. I think.
I'll be in the last five, but they still have only got 7 points. So you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. I think
it's
Man
just too
City.
it's just too low. It's just too low. It's no chance. It's too late.
Yeah, it's a shame. Bournemouth versus Liverpool. I mean, talk about Liverpool. I mean, again, I mean, we're just talking about the state of football. Liverpool. I mean, they drew to. But I mean, we're saying here you must beat Burnley. I mean, Liverpool didn't beat Burnley at home last week. I mean,
Yeah, but
again,
I watched the
I
Liverpool
just
game last night. I, I watched the
yeah.
Liverpool game last night. And they looked very good last night against a good Marseille team. They're a good team at home. But whether they can do that against Bournemouth, obviously Bournemouth, bit very shaky late. Obviously, very poor lately, haven't they, Bournemouth? And I think that's a potential to be a Liverpool win. I think.
I just find Liverpool so uninspiring. I really do. I just don't feel. Again, I mean, you could say this for every team in the Premier League at the moment, but I just don't feel entertained watching Liverpool. And I'm going to be honest: if they didn't have Szoboszlai this season, goodness knows where they'd be. He's been their best player by a mile.
Hmm. I agree.
By a mile. I think Liverpool might just edge that, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I wouldn't be comfortable with it. Well, we're just talking about managers of the season. Brentford versus Forest. I mean, Keith Andrews. What an unbelievable job he has done.
Yes,
You
I
know,
agree.
incredible. Their best players ripped away from them. Their captain ripped away from them. Their manager and their coaching staff ripped away from them, and they're sitting fifth in the Premier League.
It's crazy, isn't it? And I tipped them to go
Um,
down as well. How wrong was I?
Yeah, well, I said this. I said there must be a reason that he's got the job. Like he hasn't just been given the job. Brentford are a well-run football club, and he's smashed out the park. I think Brentford win this as well. Forest, I think, have improved a bit under Daishi, but their away form's not great.
Yeah, I think it's got to be a Brentford win in that one. I think.
Yeah, Igor Thiago, please. I mean, talking about teams in disarray. Do you know what? We've actually spoke a lot about the damning of football, and it actually really is. I mean, talk about a team that talk about a team that has gone from absolute jubilation to disaster. Crystal Palace. I mean,
Yeah.
Palace against my club, Chelsea. I mean, Glasner's going at the end of the season. They potentially nearly sacked him last week. Guehi's gone. Mateta came out yesterday and said that he wants to leave this window. How has it gone for what the hell? What the hell?
I know, mate. It's absolutely crazy, isn't it? Like they only won the FA Cup like months ago, and that's all gone to
Yeah,
shit. And
they've gone from
to
their
be honest,
best.
like Glasgow hasn't been backed at all. He hasn't been backed, has he? Like, I don't blame him too much for it. They haven't replaced Eze. They're not. I don't think they're going to replace Gahey. Like it's just the board, isn't it? Like again, board. Like
Yeah.
that because
Do you know
obviously
what? That sums up like football. Bored.
board. Yeah, I'm bored of it. Yeah.
It's so true, isn't it? Like if that's the title of the podcast. Bored. I
Bored.
think. Do you know what? I actually see Palace beating us despite the disaster they're going through.
Mm, I don't know, man. They don't look a confident team right now. I think you might edge it, but I think it'll be a scrappy game.
I'm not sure, but I like your optimism, but I'm fearful. Newcastle versus Villa. I mean, Villa had the chance to go second last week and trim down the points, and they couldn't beat Everton. I mean, Everton did play well in that game. But away to Newcastle. Newcastle inconsistent in the league. Where do you see this one going?
Well, I think obviously Newcastle coming off of a good Champions League win. Villa are playing at the moment. I think they're in Fenerbahce. I don't know what the score is, but
It's about
I
to
think
kick
it's
off, I think.
yeah. I see. I think it's a potential to be. Oh, it's a hard one because obviously Villa, obviously not too far off the top, are they? So they need to go for it. Obviously they got a bad defeat last week against Everton, but I've got a feeling Newcastle might edge it. But I think it'll be a close game. But I just think Newcastle at home, they're a good team at home. Newcastle, they don't lose many games at home, so
Yeah, I
and
would
I think the
say a
pressure
draw.
might. I think the pressure is going to be on Villa as well, and I think the pressure might get there. I've said Villa might have a drop off. Obviously, they've had a brilliant run, but I think Villa might drop off. So I think Newcastle might just edge it.
They've done well, Villa. They're sitting comfortably in the
But
top
then,
four, and
but
do you
then
know what?
obviously, then obviously Newcastle have a massive game next week in the Champions League. So whether they'll rest players, I'm not sure.
Well, it's interesting to see what
Obviously,
Villa do. Will they bring in Abraham or will they go for Mateta now? Which one would you go for, Mateta or Abraham?
Mateta, 100%.
You would, really.
Yeah, mate, Mateta. I mean, Abraham's not bad, but Mateta's got something about him. Right position, the right time. He's a goal scorer as well. And to have him as a backup to Watkins, that'd be really good for Villa.
Yeah,
It
I
will
think
go
he's a
to
good
it,
player, Mateta.
it
I
will
rate
show
him.
it will show they're not no, they will show that they're not messing about. So
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to go for the league, they need to sign players like that. I
mm.
mean, talking of going for the league, Arsenal at home to Manchester United. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, mate. I watched parts of the game because I was at the Tranmere game at the weekend watching, and I watched parts of it in the lounge area. I think that's the best United have looked since Fergie. I'm gonna be real. I know it's one game and you can't judge it too soon, but I think United played really well.
that just says it all, doesn't it? Says it all.
Yeah, I thought United
That's a
played really
tricky
well.
one to
Kobe
call. That's a
Mainoo
tricky
back
one
in the
to
team eventually.
yeah. It's a tricky one to call that one. Well, Arsenal at home against Man U. Quite a good record against them at home recently. So, but Man United looked good last week against Man City. They looked very good. I think it could be an interesting game. You know what? I think it could be a 2-2 draw. I think there'll be goals in
If
this
there's
one.
ever a time for United to turn up, it's now because
Oh,
to put
please, United.
performance in against Arsenal away
Come on,
would be
Carrick.
amazing.
Come on, Carrick. You used to play for Spurs. Come on. Get that Spursy gene in you.
I can see United if they play like they did last week. I can see them getting something out of the game, but I'm going to be real. I think Arsenal might just.
Yeah, well, especially if City and Villa drop points or something. I don't think City will. Arsenal can still extend their lead at the top, so obviously
Yeah.
it's vital they win at the weekend as well.
Yeah, 100%. And the final game, Everton versus Leeds. Do you know what? I might, if they continue the way they're going, Leeds, I might put out a public apology to Daniel Farker. I still don't rate him as a manager, but I mean, do
He's
you
done.
know what?
I'll tell
He
you what,
was
mate.
so close to losing his job, and he's turned it around in a month.
Leeds look good. I've been impressed with Leeds. Leeds look really good recently. You know, they got a good win against Chelsea, nearly beat Man United, played well against Liverpool. Like they look good Leeds at the moment. You know, Calvert-Lewin scoring goals all of a sudden, and it goes to show that they're playing for the manager, like quite clearly.
Yeah, I think
So,
Leeds have looked all right. Everton, I
but
think
then
Moisey again. Again, we're talking about West Ham. Look at what Moisey's doing with Everton.
true, yeah. Obviously, Everton a bit of a slump as of lately, but he's still the right man, obviously, to take Everton forward. You know.
Yeah, I think he's a brilliant manager. I think Everton will probably win that game. Just about. Leeds
Yes.
will give him a game, but I think Everton will probably just get over the line.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's the fixtures. Before we go, we are going into the final Champions League game this week. I loved it last year. I had the goals show on, and the goals were flying in. I thought it was absolutely brilliant last year. And I think a lot is separating on goal difference. I think we will see a lot of goals in the Champions League because the goal difference is going to be pivotal for those top 8 places. Who do you think is going to win the Champions League this year, Tom?
I'm going to go for Bayern Munich. I just think that
They look.
I think they look brilliant. Kane and Elise, two unbelievable players. They've got exciting young talent. I think company's showing like I think he's a top coach, and why I don't think he was the problem at Burnley, just managing bang average footballers. But they're scoring for fun. They're scoring so many goals, and I think they've got nearly plus 60 in the Bundesliga. That's mad. Like,
Yeah.
still loads of games to go. They're literally they look good. I can't see anyone else but Bayern Munich at the moment. I think teams getting close to them. I think Barcelona maybe. I said Barcelona will probably win it from the start, but I look at them and I think the high line is kind of like will let them down a bit because obviously they do concede a few goals, but I think Company has got what it takes to win the Champions League, or what he's doing at Bayern. So I'm going for Bayern Munich.
That's a good shout. I think Bayern are very close. I think it's hard to tell until the knockout phases come in. I think what I look at PSG. I think they could come back. I think Barcelona. I do like Barcelona. I know they haven't been great in the Champions League, but in the league, I just love Lamine Yamal and the way they play. I just think they play just so exciting brand of football. And
Yeah.
you know, we sit there and say we've got the best league in the world. I don't think we do. I think every other
No, I
league is
don't
more
think. No, I
entertaining.
don't think we. I don't think we do either. Like, but I just think the quality of the football's not good enough.
Yeah.
So
Bored.
yeah, I know. Bored.
Well, that's all we got time for today. So we are back with podcasting. We'll be back again next week. We might even have an announcement from Thomas Frank and Tottenham maybe next week. Or he might still be in the job, Tom, because you might have won 2 games in a row.
Oh, brilliant! Fantastic.
Well, thank you very much for joining us for our podcast. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button down below. Every single subscriber goes a long way. We are back, and we will see you again next week on The Dugout. See you later, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye, guys. See you later.